This is Jeannie from Trendy and this is Carrie, and today we're going to show you how to make a basic wreath using the ruffle technique. And today we're going to use a new wreath that we have. It's a pencil wreath, but it's in the new burlap color. It's kind of a paper sack brown. And the mesh is also another new product, and it is a combination of a poly and has a burlap thread where in the same place like where other mesh might have foil. This is burlap. So with the combination of the poly material and burlap, you could use it inside or out. So the first thing we're going to do is make our ruffles, and Carrie's going to do this by cutting 15-inch strips from the mesh. Now we're going to use both rolls of the mesh. Carrie, why don't you show them how to cut two rolls at the same time? These rolls of mesh are 10 inches in width and 10 yards in length. So we should be able to get about 24 pieces off of each roll. So we're going to use it all. It's not a real thick mesh, but we're going to put like 2 layers of ruffles on our wreath and then go back around it with the remainder, which will give us about 2.5 layers of ruffles. So for right now, she's just going to go ahead and cut all of the ruffles off. And I may have mentioned this before, if you don't have one of these cutting mats, you might want to get one. This one came from Walmart, and they're just really nice. It protects your surface, but it gives you a good cutting surface. And the mat is called a self-healing mat. You really can't see where the cuts have been made. And she's also using a rotary cutter, which really speeds things up and just makes it easy when you're doing a lot of repetitive cutting like this. This mesh does have the 100% jute in it, so it does have that burlap smell. It's not anything offensive. You know, sometimes you get some burlap and it's really kind of got a sour smell, but this is not. It's not anything offensive. It kind of smells like a barn loft. You've ever been in a barn loft? Carrie's never been in a barn loft, have you, Carrie? Okay, she's got all the curls cut now, and then we should have like 48 from those 2 rolls of mesh. And the next thing she's going to do is just push those out of the way where I can see. Carrie, there you go, thanks. And then take the pencil wreath, and the first thing to do is just lay it down flat and smooth all your twist out. The pencil wreath, actually, this is a 24-inch wreath. And if you'll notice that the metal ring, the largest of the metal rings, actually only measures 15 inches across. But by the time you have your ties and then your materials, you'll come out with a 24-inch or larger wreath. To make the first ruffle, she's just going to lay the mesh down, and you just gather it right up through the center, lengthwise, just kind of pleating and pinching as you go. When you get it pinched up, you just open one of the twist ties, and it doesn't matter if you start on the top or the bottom, upper or lower ring, just whatever's most convenient for you. But just put it between the twist and only give it just a twist or two, because we're going to be going back and adding another layer to it. And she's just going to work all the way around the wreath, and we're just going to go ahead and go with 1 layer first so you can see what it looks like with 1 layer of mesh, and then we'll come back and do a second layer on top of that. Okay, now this is our wreath after we have 1 layer of ruffles on it. Hold it up, Carrie, like that. There you go. Which has got pretty good coverage. Go ahead and hang it on the wall if you don't, and so we can kind of see. Pretty good coverage, but it's going to look a lot better when we get the other layer on. So we're going to go ahead and do that second layer now. And when you're doing your second layer, you want to open up your twist from the previous layer and just lay your ruffle right down on top of that, and then secure your twist just a couple of times and you've got both layers of ruffles secured at one time. You don't want to just keep adding ruffles without undoing that twist, otherwise your materials will get kind of loose looking. And they'll be, you know, out toward the top of the wreath instead of secured nice and deep. And we're just going to go all the way around the inside and then all the way around the outside with that second layer. Okay, now we've completed 2 complete layers of ruffles, and you can tell it's really beginning to take a better shape. It's much fuller. Hold it up on the wall, Carrie. You can kind of see. Whoops. Wait a minute, I kind of got you out of the video. Okay, alright. Okay, so that, okay, now it has 36 ruffles. So we had 48 from our 2 rolls, so we're going to go ahead. We could stop right now. This wreath would be plenty full, but we're going to go ahead and use these other remaining ruffles and just have 3 layers of ruffles on like every other twist. And we're going to do them the same way. You're going to undo the twist and lay that ruffle down right on top of the other 2, and then this time we're going to twist it back with like 3 or 4 good twists, because now we're finished with that and we want it pretty secure. Okay, now we've got all of our 48 layers of ruffles in there, and you can see it's really nice and full. And Carrie's going to go back now. Anytime you handle mesh, whether it be burlap or, you know, poly mesh, you're going to always have some strings that you're going to have to go back and clip. And the more you handle it, the more strings you're going to get. But this really hasn't raveled any worse than any other mesh that I've ever seen. Now, we're going to stop our wreath, this video at this point, because this is our basic burlap ruffle wreath. And we're going to do some other videos and show you. We're going to go out in the shop and we're going to pick out some things, and we're going to take this burlap wreath and show you how to use it for Halloween, autumn, Christmas. Use the same wreath, just take some items off and give it, put some new ribbons on it and give it a whole new look. So if we were finished with it, we would take the twist and kind of tuck them to the inside, but since we know we're going to be adding some more ribbons and some roping, we've got lots of new roping that we want to show you. We're going to leave those for right now because we're not finished. And remember, I said this was a 24-inch wreath, so Carrie's going to show you how this wreath is going to measure out. The depth of it is about, and this gives you an idea of how to figure out how to measure your ribbon strips. That depth is about what? About 9 or 10 inches. So if you were going to put chevron ribbon strips on this, you would want to cut your ribbon where once it goes into your twist, it'd be a little bit longer. You'd want it to stick out a little more. So the width of this wreath turned out to be about, let's see, it comes out a good 24, 26. If you put the yardstick to the back, you may be able to tell a little easier. Move it over to the, there you go. Yeah, it comes out a good 25, 26 inches wide. Okay? Well, thanks very much for dropping by, and we'll be sure and check out our YouTube videos, and we'll put a list of the materials that we use for this video, and we're going to do some more and show you how to decorate it. Bye now.